A lot of it's spontaneity because we never quite ever get all that time to sit and focus. And we always put our lives before this. So whenever we try to put this before our lives, it never quite works. There's a silly feeling that comes with that. I said last night, I'm starting to feel a bit silly being in a band these days, but I'm glad we're here because I think we should finish what we started in terms of we needed to make this record, if not for ourselves, but just for the idea that we needed to. It was a really positive experience making this album. Tortoise is, John McEntire is the reason we wanted to make instrumental records. I was always into soundtracks as a kid. I was always a soundtrack kid, and I loved a lot of instrumental albums, but once I discovered that Chicago scene and then discovered all those labels, Drag City, Thrill Jockey, Touch and Go, I couldn't believe it. And 94 through 98, 99 were unbelievable years of music. And for us to go to Chicago and to sort of step into that world, which was so huge in our past, and to work with some of these people, John McEntire, obviously, and I do a duet with Sam Precup, which was on my bucket list, I guess, if people still use that terminology. And just befriending. We've befriended a lot of people. Scott, who's a.k.a. Spiral Stairs, we met in a really sweet, natural way and became friends over the years. I was a massive Dinosaur Jr. fan. To hang out with those guys while they were doing their Redemption tour, putting themselves back together, that was really healthy to witness. Brendan and I didn't really start the band. We did this record, Feel Good Lost. I've only ever made records with Charles Spearman. Cut to Charlie right now. And he went away with D-Mix, I think, on their first tour, and he lent me his 8-track, and they lent me all this gear that they weren't taking. And Brendan sort of was courting me because he met me through a friend, and he heard these Casey Accidental records I made with Charles. It was really beautiful how Brendan appeared in my life. And I've said many times on air and on print and anywhere that if I could relive a year, I would relive that year that I hung out with Brendan making Feel Good Lost at my ex-wife's place in the basement. I mean, that was a great time for me. It was before anything. There was nothing coming. It was all what was in front of you. And we just kind of did this record, and then we started introducing each other to our friends. So, I sort of brought in Evan and Colette, and Jimmy, Sean, Emily, and Charlie. And Ohad. I mean, I had that whole scene, and then Brendan was like, he brought in Leslie, and then Andrew, and then we started playing, and we had so many other people involved at that point. And everyone was really excited that we were all sort of getting together in terms of our friends, our outer friends who were hanging out, and we started playing these shows, and Brendan and I made this sweet record, but we weren't playing that live. We were playing these jams that we were doing in the basement. No one could quite get it, but everyone was all for it, and our friends would keep coming out, and the crowds just started getting a little bit bigger. We used to charge $2. And I remember we had a big argument about charging $5. We can't charge $5. And Amy and Ev would come in from Montreal. I don't know. The way this whole thing came together, to look back at it was sweet. I know Brendan was like, I need to do something, and this kid's got something. That's what he said to me. He's like, this kid's got something. And I remember thinking, I just want to prove people wrong. I went to a music school at Harris Institute, and I was sick of being told this is how it is in this country, and this is this. And I know a lot of people who work in the Canadian music industry that I very much love and respect, but at that time I was that punk kid who was like, we're going to do this. Now, we couldn't have done it without any of their help, to be honest with you, because they all kind of quietly came and backed us and helped us out. And everyone really got behind You've Forgotten People when we made it. I mean, David Neufeld made that record for nothing. You know, in the end, I think we paid him $8,000. People always told me it's timing and it's luck, and that was it. It was timing and it was luck, and it was just the idea that everyone was really into melody, and we just got together, and everyone just had something. Everyone just played off each other really well, and you can't deny that. And there was just there was a strength in numbers, as I've always said. And the great thing that I think you'll see that's interesting between Forgiveness Rock record, people didn't really have anything to prove. Well, people don't really have anything to prove right now, you know. With You've Forgotten People, people were going for it. You know, they wanted it. And
it's like a fresh spark.
yeah, that's a feeling that you can't repeat. You can see the growth from Feel Good Lost all the way to here. And like I said, I had such a wonderful time making this album. We're all really happy with it, but we're also really happy with it because of the experience we had making it. It was really great. I'm looking to take this into a new direction. I'm happy to do this for the next couple of years. We'll see what happens after that. We'll never be a band that won't play live because we just love playing live together. But hopefully we'll try to do something that's bigger than being just a band out there promoting themselves. And we're trying to figure that out right now.